Hi there, Katri from Sharetribe here. In this video, we're learning about listing types. Let's start by defining a listing. With listing, I mean something that's posted on your marketplace to offer a service, rental, product, or whatever your marketplace is for. It could also be a request from a customer to get offers from providers. A user needs to list whatever it is, or in other words, create a listing. Listing types, on the other hand, are a key feature of Sharetribe that determines what kind of listings your marketplace has and what kind of transaction takes place when users interact with a listing. In other words, what is your marketplace for? Is it a rental, product, or service marketplace, or something else? If you're building a rental marketplace, what kind of rentals will you have? Are they booked by the day, night, or hour? Or, on a service marketplace, are your services project-based or booked from a calendar? Will customers reach out to providers to request for offers, or will customers describe their needs and get multiple offers from providers? Will there be a set price, or will the price be negotiated based on unique needs? Do the services happen online or in person? In a product marketplace, are the products physical or digital? Are they unique, or are there many of the same kind? Are they delivered by mail or pickup? Or maybe your marketplace doesn't fit into any of these categories. It could be a job board or a classified ad site. You can also create a listing type that doesn't use online payments if you're just matchmaking supply and demand and letting them transact off-platform. All of these details are determined in listing types. The settings you choose will affect the listing creation flow, that is, the information providers need to add when posting a listing, and what kind of transaction takes place when someone books, buys, inquires after, or makes an offer on a listing. Let's learn how to create a listing type. You can find the listing type settings in Console under Build and Listings. To create a new listing type, click Add a new listing type, enter a name and an ID for it, and then choose the default transaction process you want this listing type to use. The options are calendar booking, purchase, free messaging, and price negotiation. Each of these processes supports a wide variety of marketplaces. Based on the transaction process settings, you'll define further things like booking units, stock type, or negotiation flow, and enable or disable default listing fields. You can have more than one listing type on your marketplace, but remember, having a narrow focus, at least in the beginning, is often the best way forward. How to update and delete existing listing types. When you create a new Sharetribe marketplace, your test environment will have an example listing type created based on your answers to the setup wizard. You can either update that listing type to match your needs or delete it and create a new one. You can edit a listing type by clicking Open the card, editing the settings, and saving the changes. You remove a listing type by clicking on the three dots next to the card and clicking Delete Listing Type and then confirming the deletion in the box that opens. When you edit or delete a listing type, old listings in that type will retain the original settings. They will keep working, but there may be changes to listing creation, listing pages, and transactions depending on what you changed. Generally, the best idea is to simply create a new listing type if you notice an old one doesn't work for your marketplace anymore. Please note that you can't change the listing type of a listing once the listing has been created. You need to close or delete listings that use deleted listing types if you don't want them to be available anymore. And finally, if you have several listing types, you can reorder them easily by dragging the cards up and down in Console. This determines the order providers will see the listing types in the listing creation form. How to limit custom listing fields to specific listing types. Under Listings in Console, you can also find listing field settings. Listing fields are custom information you want users to add to their listings. When you're creating a custom listing field, enable the setting Limit this field to specific listing types. Then, click Add a listing type ID and copy and paste the listing type ID or IDs there. Now, this listing type will only be available to fill when someone chooses that listing type. Let's conclude. Your listing types are a key component of your marketplace. They determine what kind of listings and transactions your marketplace has. Listing type settings include a name, ID, transaction process type, and settings, and default fields. In addition, you can limit custom listing fields to specific listing types. When building your marketplace with Sharetribe's no-code builder, you can choose from 4 different transaction processes: calendar booking, purchase, free messaging, and price negotiation. Each of these processes supports a wide variety of marketplaces. That's it. If you have any questions, reach out to us at hello@sharetribe.com. We're always happy to help.